To the guitar of consciousness. That was my new song called Ease. And what this series is about, it's about empowering you to know what Access Consciousness is about. They provide you with tools and questions, processes to change any areas of your life where you are going to the wrongness, where you are fearing to be different. Access Consciousness is about your difference is a gift to the world. If you're a seeker, if you're a dreamer, if you're an adventurer, maybe this series is for you. Maybe Access Consciousness is for you. What they do, they allow your difference to not be a wrongness. Like before Access, I used to make myself wrong for everything. You know, I used to choose this and then make myself wrong for that. Then I ask this person, oh, should I choose this? And then I make myself wrong for it. If I listen to them, and then it didn't match my reality, so I always made myself wrong. And that's how I lived pretty much my whole life before Access. I just made myself wrong for everything. And if that's what you people are doing as well, I'm showing you something different here. Access is about being different. Being you, changing the world. Created by Dr. Dane here. Being you, changing the world. It's about being different. As you see in my videos, it's so different. You know, how I do the music, how I do the speaking, it's just different. And I've had a few viral videos on Facebook where comments are just outrageous, you know, like what's up with this guy? Is it a joke? Is he serious? This and that. Like, have a look on my Facebook page, and you'll see. Though, access consciousness contributes to me keep going. It doesn't matter what other people's points of view are about what I do or what you do, about your difference. Like, this reality is about, if you're different, then there's something wrong with you. Like, you're a joke. Like, how does that work out? That you're being something different, and then people are like, you can't do that. So if you're a type of person where you're doing something and someone comes up to you and says, no, you can't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. And what do you do after? You stop whatever you're doing. You're like, these people told me that I can't do that. And then you make yourself wrong. And where do you go? You go down the rabbit hole and stick yourself down in the darkness. You know? Access consciousness is about empowering your difference. Acknowledging your difference as a capacity. Your difference is a capacity, my friend. And it has always has been. Until now. So your difference can actually contribute to you. Unlocking that for you. And actually showing other people out there that being different is not a wrongness. This series about me being different allows you to actually be different. We're not just all the same. We have these different capacities. So you are unique. You are unique, my friend. You have your capacities. Let's actualize them and bring them to fruition. Does that feel light for you? You're like, whoa. Is that really? Yes, it is. You can allow that difference to be unlocked. You know? It doesn't matter what someone, like your family members, your friends, your co-workers, it doesn't matter what they care, what you do. What matters is what you love. What brings you joy? What brings you happiness? That's what this series is about. Contributing to you. Unlocking that capacity of being different. Access consciousness. That's what it is. About you being different. And not making yourself wrong. Because when you make yourself wrong, what's that do? It doesn't do anything for you, the planet. It doesn't contribute. But when I'm being different, yes, I do get more judgments at me, this and that. But then again, judgments, they're irrelevant. They're not a reality for me. Like, I had a video and I got severely judged. And what did I do? I made another video. I kept going. And then the judgments got a little bit less, but then it was on a different track. And then a different track. So people are going to always judge you, no matter what you do. You know, doesn't matter how awesome your music sounds or your speaking is, they're going to find something to judge you on. So judgment isn't real. It's an invention. So don't buy it. Judgment only works if you buy into it. And what happens then when you buy into it, it solidifies into your body and locks you up. It locks you up. And then you're like, you stop. You're like, that's it. I'm done. That's what judgment does. Unless that only happens if you buy into it. If you buy into the judgment. Those videos on my Facebook page, I didn't buy into those comments. I didn't buy into those judgments. What did I do? I'm like, interesting point of view. I have that point of view on those judgments. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Dane from Access, co-creator, he goes, say it. Say it until it has more lightness to it. So let's bring up the energies of any judgments you guys have and girls have of anything out there. Just bring up the limitations of those judgments and just say it out loud or in your head, wherever. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view. Look, I'm starting to laugh, you know. The energy changes. That's what that does. So whenever you're getting severely judged or you're making yourself wrong, run that question from Access Consciousness. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. And then, if it keeps coming back, use the clearing statement with it. The Access Consciousness clearing statement. The link will be in the description for the clearance statement. And what we can do quickly is, so interesting point of view, have this point of view, and then you can say, everywhere I did that and was that, because we've been and done everything. So if there's an automatic response for something, it means we've been and done that before. So we just say, everywhere we've been and done that before, destroy and uncreate it all. Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, ordinary, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Just bring up the energy of those judgments those judgments of wrongness that was mucking you around. Bring up the energy of that. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view. Everywhere I've been and done that before. Destroy and uncreate it all. Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, ordinary, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And it even gives me lightness, you know, filming this video. Like, it's not easy. You know, access consciousness isn't about running these posters and everything's fairy tale or la land, you know. It's not about that. It's about these processes, questions, and tools of access allows you to keep going. Like, obstacles come my way all the time, all the way, like with people's judgments, with technology not working, you know. I've had a few issues with the technology today, though. With the tools and questions, I'll just keep going. You know, just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And when you keep going, that's what creates your life. You know, if you buy into that, if you make yourself wrong in that, where does that lead you? That leads you back down that rabbit hole. You know, where the worms are scratching out your face. Yeah, do you really want to live like down there, or do you want to be out here? Out here, like showing your capacities out to the world. And that is a possibility for you if you choose it. You have to choose it though. You know, I can be saying all this stuff, but then again, you still have to choose it. By you choosing it, opens up the doors to infinite possibilities. So you run that process. I love that from how Dane, I saw him say that in the video. I'm like, I'm doing this. Why did I start doing it? Because I didn't enjoy my life before. I really didn't enjoy it. You know, all I was looking out for others. Like, what should I do for this person, this person, this person? Did I get enough money here? Did I get enough, not enough money there? You know, my expectations of this. That's how I functioned. I was in this reality. Yeah, let's go beyond this reality. Let's create our own reality of infinite possibilities, of your capacities are acknowledged. Puppy dogs. But yeah, acknowledge your capacities. Let's start acknowledging our capacities, acknowledging our difference. And that's what Access has done for me. Acknowledge my difference. I was always doing other stuff for other people. I was asking them, should I choose that? Should I not choose that? It didn't feel right for me, though I did it. Though it was uncomfortable to choose for me. It was uncomfortable. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. It was uncomfortable to start choosing for me. Though, you know what happened when I actually did start choosing for me? That uncomfortable melted. It just melted away. That uncomfortableness just melted away, melted away, melted away. And what came beyond that was like, whoa. Whoa. Let's choose that. That's my invitation to you. To be like, you know what? I'm going to be different no matter what. No matter what. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Choose your difference. Choose those capacities of yours. No matter what it takes. Whatever it takes. You know? Choose to live your life. Access consciousness is about you living your life. Living your life. Not someone else's life. Not your parents' life. Not your family members' life. Your life. What part of your life would you like to exponentialize? To come to fruition? To actualize? So, let's do a process. To actually have more communion with you and your body and the whole world. The whole universe desires to give to us. But we're like, nah, it doesn't look our right way. It doesn't feel right. You know, it doesn't match my this and that. No, that's all limitations. Anytime we're going into this thinking section, every time we're thinking about this mind, thinking about stuff, that's a limitation. For me, whenever I'm out of my head, that's when I have more lightness to my world. You know? So let's run this process from access. What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can I and my body be to have total communion with the consciousness of the universe with ease? And everything that does not allow that to show up when destroyed and uncreated. Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, ordinary, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can I and my body be to have total communion with the consciousness of the universe with total ease? And everything that does not allow that to show up when it's destroyed and uncreated. Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, ordinary, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So these processes, they just bring lightness to your world. They're like that magic wand in Harry Potter, you know? Kabam! And kabam, your limitations are gone. Not kabam, the earth's ending. It's kabam, your limitations are gone. You know, you're holding on to your limitations. What these processes do, it just chips away those limitations. It melts those limitations away. So you're like, oh, well, I can choose for me now. Yes. For you. You can choose for you. You know? You don't have to choose for someone else. You can choose for you. And when you do choose for you, you start enjoying your life. Happiness starts being a reality for you. You remember? And I have a thing in access. Happiness is just a choice. Happiness is just a choice. You have to choose it. And I'm choosing it. It's not saying I'm happy 24/7. I'm just happy. I'm more happier than a lot of other people out in the world. And my happiness is just growing more and more and more. The more I do with access, the more I actually contribute to you guys and girls. That happiness is just a choice. And it is. Where you think like, nah, I can't. But then again, that's what I thought before access. You know, I'm like, you can't be happy for like, when something phenomenal happens, like, you know, like you win the lottery. But then how long do they become happy for? When they run out of the money, then they're not happy. You know, they go back to the way they were before. So happiness is about not how much money I have in the bank account, not how many friends I have, not if I have this perfect job. Happiness is about, I can be happy now. That's what happiness is, just a choice. You can be happy just now. There's no time limit. There's no like, oh, okay, a couple hours in, when's it going to stop? You know, if you come to that conclusion, that's how we fuck ourselves. When we come to that conclusion, I've been happy for this amount of time. Oh, that's it now. It can't happen. You come to a conclusion about it, and that's what stops it. Conclusions, they fuck you around. So always be in the question. Access consciousness is about being in the question. What question can I be here? What question can I be here? What question can I use here that should contribute to me actually living a life I desire? Being in question empowers you. Like access is about perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving. Those four elements. What this reality is about, it's about thoughts, feelings, emotions, sex and no sex. Like when you're having sex, you're receiving. When you're not having sex, you're not receiving. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Does that work for you? It didn't work for me. All that did is just buy into other people's crap, and then I'm living that crap. Would you like to be in crap? Or would you like to jump in the ocean and wash yourself off and come back out and like, whoa, I'm a new person, a new being, willing to show my difference to the world? Would you like that? Well, let's start perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving. That's the access consciousness way. And what that's done for me, just allowed me to like, whoa, that's a possibility. What are the infinite possibilities with that? What are the infinite possibilities of me perceiving, knowing, being, receiving? And everything that does not allow that to show up when it's true and uncreate. Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pug, bark, ordinary, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What are the infinite possibilities of me perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving with ease? And everything that does not allow that to show or now destroy and uncreate it all. Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pug, bark, ordinary, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Whenever I heard Dane or Gary or Simone or Brendan, when they talk about processes, I'm like, oh, a new process. Whoa, that's so cool. You know, I was never like, oh, a new process. I was like, oh, a new process. Yes, let's run it. And every time I run a new process, I was like, oh, yes, new capacity getting unlocked. You know, like, what's this going to create for me? And because I was like that, I was like, I just kept creating. And that contributed to me becoming more lightness. The times that I was heavy, that I was down, I would run these processes and it would slowly come up. My happiness would climb. And it would come back down, come back, up. And I'd be like, yes, I like up here more. Would you like to be up here more? Be in that happiness. Being in the happiness is just a choice. And that's what these processes do. And remember, processes, then you be in question, and use any tool of access that is going to get you out of that crapness that we're buying into. And Dane, he's got so many videos on YouTube. I've watched his videos, this and that one, just to learn new stuff. Like these videos you watch of mine. Every video, you just learn new stuff. You learn new stuff of access. And then you be that. The more and more you listen to it, you be that. You eventually just be it. And then when you're in that certain situation, you'll be like, oh, I remember that one from Jake or Dane or Gary that they said in that video. Oh, I'm going to use that now for this situation. And you're like, oh, whoa, how phenomenal was that? And that's how I function. That's how I function now. Certain situation shows up and I'm like, I'm going to use that tool because I remember because I did a bit of practice. You know, it's going to take a little bit of practice, but well, then again, it's not going to harm you. You know, a big velociraptor's not going to chase you around your backyard or what. You know, so by running these tools and questions, it's going to take some practice though. So I did it. Gary and Dane, they do it. And their lives are just becoming more and more greater. So use them. Put some practice into it. And you're just going to get to a lightness where like, oh, thank you, Access. Thank you for bringing this consciousness out. Consciousness is a gift if you're willing to acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge that consciousness has your back. You can just say, I acknowledge that consciousness has my back here. Consciousness, how can you show me that you have my back? Ask it. Consciousness, how can you show me that you have my back? And it will. In the weirdest ways possible that it can show you. And the more you do that, the more it will show you how it does have your back. It might have your back with you coming across this video and you learn some stuff on here when I'm speaking. You come across a Dane or Gary video, the founders of Access, one of their videos. You know, or many facilitators worldwide. There's over 10,000 of facilitators worldwide. You might come across one of them. You'll be like, oh, whoa, I learned a new tool from Access. Whoa, how can I use this in my life? You know, it's about having you be you. You're a gift to the world. And just say when you're in a certain situation where you feel like you're pretty, you know, your energy is pretty low. You haven't got much energy. So whenever you got no energy, or you're thinking too much, let's just say, let's expand our energy out in all directions. Let's expand our energy out in all directions. We are not just our body. Our energy is between the molecules. We are the energy between the molecules. So we can expand energy out. And what happens when we do expand energy out? We become more lightness. When you be more space, you're more lightness. So you can say, let's expand my energy out in all directions to 10 kilometers in all directions. Do you feel the edges of your space? You're like, you're trying to work it out. You can't feel the edges of your space because there is no edges of your space. You're infinite. So let's go again. Let's expand my energy out in all directions to 50 kilometers out in all directions. Do you feel the edges of your space? You can't define it, can you? Because we have no edges. So that's a little practice for you. And you can go as much as you like. You can go 50, 100, 1,000. As far as you want to. We are infinite space. And the bigger we get, that's when this little fellow in here goes away. Our chatterbox. That's when that goes away. When you expend more energy out. It's like when you chuck a rock into the ocean. What the ocean looks back and you say, you serious? Can that really affect me? No. When you expend it out, you're like the ocean. When we're contracted, when we think we just our bodies, we're contracted. We're like a bucket, a bucket with water, and we chuck a rock in there, and what happens? It gets abbreviated. I pronounce that problem, but it gets like kabam. So that's what happens when we're not expanded, and that's what happens when people project at us, expect of us, things come to us, and they stick us. They lock us in. They lock us in. What can get you out of that is expand my energy out. Expand my energy out. 10 kilometers, 10 miles, 50 kilometers, 50 miles, greater, 100 miles, 100 kilometers, more. Keep doing it. The more and more you do it, then you can practice doing more. So that tool from Access Consciousness is a game changer, my friends. It's a fucking game changer. It just is. It just allows you to actually know who you are, what your reality is. These processes allow you to know who you actually are. Before Access, I didn't know who I was. I was just living my life from other people. It showed me who I am. These tools and questions. So, and another thing you can ask when you wake up in the morning and you feel like you're a bit drained of energy as well, say to yourself, what grand and glorious adventures am I willing to have, be, and receive? Say that every morning. The days that I didn't say that, I would really notice the days I didn't say that. And the days that I did say that, what grand and glorious adventures am I willing to have, be, and receive? When I did say that, I noticed that that day was more adventurous. I created more that day. I had a little bit more happiness. I noticed it. You know why? I noticed it because I kept saying it, even though I think it wasn't working. These stuff, I thought, they're just like, they don't work. Though I saw how other people use them, I'm like, their lives are changing. If their lives can change, my life can change too. So I gave it a go. I kept going. Eventually I'm like, oh, whoa, I didn't say that day. And I had a bit of an interesting day. When I did say it, I actually noticed. I'm like, whoa, it really does. It really does work. I wouldn't be giving it to you if this didn't work. Gary, Dane, they wouldn't bring Access out if these tools and questions didn't work. They work. You put a little bit of effort, a little bit of practice, and they just work. And if you guys and girls don't know, once a month I have GOC online events every month, and it's like we go deeper into this stuff. You can ask your question online on a Zoom call, and you can go ask any question we go like a lot more detail in that. And that's what I did with Dane. I went on his classes. I did his classes. I went to go see him live. I went to his online Zoom calls. And I was asking questions to allow my, whatever I was buying into, to unlock that. So that's what that series is about, my online events. You can go on my website, guitarconscious.com, to view these events. And they're always different topics. So every different topics may relate to you. And it's all your choice. If you're allowed to go a lot more deeper, because there is so much more. There is so much more to access that is far beyond you can ever imagine. There's just so much more. This is just a little taster of what Access Consciousness is about. Just a little taster. A little taster that can bring joy to your world. There's just so much of the whole universe is a lot more that you can have be your reality. So that's my invitation to you. I'd like to say a big thanks to my crew. Jake Savich, my lead videographer, photographer. Also she's got an assistant photographer now called Brendan. Oh, I love you, man. And my coordinator that does all my social media stuff, does all my technical stuff that I don't want to go to, all my business stuff that she's just a phenomenal. She's just phenomenal what she does, and yeah, and so many other Access facilitators contribute to me, and that can contribute to you too. Like the more Access you choose, other beings are going to come to you and contribute to you, contribute to your capacities, your difference, unlocking that to the world. So remember, this is just a taster of what Access is about. There's just so much more, though. I'll probably be talking about for 3, 4, 5, probably days if I just keep going. So, and yeah, so just keep going. And what else is possible? What else is possible? What else is possible? And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like this video. Show your friends. And just keep going. Keep going and keep going. And yeah, in that video, there was a star of, I don't know if you guys remember, Chuchu. He's got kids now. Yes, Chuchu the dog. He's got kids now. He had 8. We had 8 puppies. We've kept 4. We kept 4 pups. And what a star in that video. And yeah, I named the song after her. So how's it getting better than that? And that's what conscious is about. Conscious is about anything and everything. You know, your dogs, your animals, the plants, they're all here to contribute. They are here to contribute. You can ask them. Just ask consciousness. By you asking consciousness of the universe, contribute to me. All these beings out here that we didn't know contribute to us can actually start contributing to us. All you have to do is be in the question. Be in the question, be 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 the question. All right, my friends. Till next time. I love you so lot. And what are the infinite possibilities?